Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. We are here. God dang it, not one hair? Jesus. Anyway, we are live. Earlier, we were not live. We were doing our podcast, but we are live now. So hopefully you got the chance to check that out. If you didn't, check it out after this. I think you'll enjoy it. Nevertheless, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with an emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always try to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are participants, and sometimes I share the link. If I share the link and your profile looks like this, especially if I've never seen you on here before, please go back to this. And if you're not comfortable, you can go back to that. Just know that no one else can see you, not even Donovan, until I bring you up to the big screen. Also, in the comment section, it's not that we disagree, it's how we disagree. So let's be as respectful as we can to each other. Same thing goes for the panel. Today, we're going to be talking about the NAACP saying Black consumers must boycott companies that ended the DEI program. Of course, we know that the DEI boycott, I guess, is starting to really rev up here as the upcoming date of February 28th. There's supposed to be a national blackout, if you will, starting with Target. And then it's going to progress into a whole host of other stores from there. Also sounds like the Latino community is joining in on the boycott. Of course, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is been targeted by the Trump administration. And they have asked, especially on the federal level, and different corporations to get rid of it, not considering race for different positions or whatever it is. They want it to be merit-based, basically saying if you're qualified based on abilities, not the color of your skin. So, of course, we're going to get a little bit more into that as we go along. Donovan, what say you?
What say me? I say welcome back to the chat, you guys. These discussions are great to keep us motivated and keep us focused on where we want to go in directions in life and what we want from this government and what we want better from each other. Do me a favor. We got a scrolling banner at the bottom. If you guys want to donate to keep the show going, it does take time, effort to do shows. And that's where you could donate and put in there. At the end of the day, even if you, let's say you don't want to donate, a cup of coffee would always do great. Demetra, you're a coffee drinker, I'm very sure.
Yeah, but I'm trying to stop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you can get some tea too, so that's another good thing. You could probably go do that. So a cup of coffee, if that's all you can do, we really, really appreciate that. And we thank our longtime listeners and co-hosts, because we call you guys co-hosts on the show, for staying with us this long. Also, it is the 18th of February. It is still Black History Month. 20% off. African Diaspora News Channel annual subscription, 20% off. That is a great gift, wedding gift, birthday gift, anniversary gift, you name it. Knowledge is power. A lot of stuff going on in Africa, a lot of stuff going on in the Caribbean, but in Africa, they are talking about reparations as a whole, as a group. So if you guys want to follow that, if they get reparations based on what they do, that helps us out here as well. And we can piggyback off of that in regards to if they get it or not or whatever. So I want to thank you guys for coming in. You got CJ, you got Shirley Laria. Sorry about that. You've got Sunlight, Kaiko, me, Johanan. Let's see who else. Troy Scott, welcome. Craig Williams, welcome back. All you guys, thank you guys. A Chocolate Chick, thank you guys. JJ Mars, thank you guys for doing what you guys do, spreading the message and keeping the message going. So Demetra, let's get into this and let's see what our co-host's opinion of this situation is.
Yes, indeed. And like Donovan said, hello to and welcome to everybody. And of course, I'll get back into reading the comments as soon as I am done here. So, of course, you guys know, as I said, kind of gave it away a little bit. It's raining outside. That's why I was kind of looking crazy. But yeah, so, of course, the Trump administration, Donald Trump is president now. Trump administration is targeting DEI. He said he was going to do it even when he was campaigning to be the president, that they would get rid of it on the federal level. So they've done that for the most part, gotten rid of race-based initiatives, and they want to go to merit, which means your abilities, your strengths, things like that. And so, of course, a lot of corporations have followed suit. Of course, we know Target is one for whatever reason. It seems like they're honing in, they being the boycotters, are honing in on first. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who wanted Kamala Harris to be the president. She obviously was not that. And they, I guess, felt like if she was a president, we wouldn't be going through these things, right? A lot of them are saying, we tried to tell you. But of course, we know that diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, did not mostly benefit Black people. It benefited white women the most. And so, as I have been asking people, I'm like, great, I don't mind a boycott. I got started doing what I'm doing here online because I was mirroring that of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when they were saying let's boycott Christmas, right? And I did a video and it went viral, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of good at this. So that's kind of how I do. So I don't have a problem with boycotting. I do have a problem with boycotting when it's nonsensical, because in essence, if we're going to boycott, this is going to benefit white women, right? Let's say that. And it sounds like Target has lost about $18 billion so far since they've gotten rid of their DEI programs. And I imagine other corporations will lose just as much money. But nevertheless, the NAACP, it says, has recently issued a Black consumer advisory urging Black consumers to avoid patronizing companies that have scaled back or eliminated their diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI initiatives. This advisory aims to inform Black Americans about which companies are committed to progress and are not. Again, they're saying committed to progress. Black people have not progressed under DEI. I'm just telling you what they said, okay? Now it says, companies identified by the NAACP for reducing or discontinuing their DEI efforts include Walmart, criticized for scaling back their DEI programs, Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, and anything else Mark Zuckerberg owns. It says the parent company, okay, so Facebook, blah, blah, blah. McDonald's, you should stay away from there anyway, but that's your business. Target, of course, as I just said. Lowe's, Amazon, and then a Tractor Supply, I think it's Deere or somebody like that. Now, I say conversely, the NAACP commends companies that have maintained their DEI efforts, such as Apple, Ben & Jerry's, Delta Airlines, and Costco, just to name a few. The NAACP encourages Black consumers to leverage their collective purchasing power, which exceeds $1.8 trillion annually, to support businesses that demonstrate a genuine commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So they also have a much more extensive list of companies that you're supposed to boycott and those you're supposed to support. Now we know the NAACP, they're supposed to be for colored people. That's what they say, right? But it doesn't seem like they really have been in the last couple of decades or more, right? They kind of are all inclusive, just like the Congressional Black Caucus. And so they are telling us to go to these other multi-billion-dollar companies opposed to, hey, let's build a Black business. They have the voice reach, if you will, to disseminate that message. Costco's going to be fine. They got enough money. And somebody on here was saying that they own one of the companies, I don't remember what it is, that they're boycotting Costco. But nevertheless, you would think that they would spend their time telling Black people, let's build a Black business. Let's get away from having to depend on anybody or anything that could get rid of a program that they think is for us. Because again, DEI is not for, it's supposed to be kind of, sort of, but it hasn't been. Just like affirmative action has benefited white women the most. But they won't do that. They don't want Black people to be fully functional outside of them or the Democrats. Now, I know that's kind of an oxymoron because the NAACP nor the Democrats have done anything for Black people specifically, but in their mind, they don't want us to operate independently of them. They want us to always believe that we need them, right? Now, of course, I feel like this is a grift. I feel like reparations is a grift because none of this was being talked about during Kamala's administration, right? Of course, I guess maybe they thought she was going to win, which is why maybe they didn't. But we know it's benign neglect of the Black community, which is why they didn't. But now you're hearing all of these people, Al Sharpton, he's got a buy-in at Costco that want to go, the Black people to Costco and show them support. And it's like, they worth $500 billion. They don't need no more Black money. I digress. They hear you, Tamika Mowry's. She's now leading the charge. Everybody's supposed to go, boycott Target, and then they're going to move on to everybody else. Even with the reparations, Donovan put up Spike Lee, and I saw it yesterday as well, but he's standing at some basketball game with a jacket on that says reparations now or something like that. And it's like, miss us with all of this, okay? This is performative. I totally believe that they've gotten their talking points, they being the misleadership, and I believe they've been told, Go sell this to black people. We got to keep them mad. Can never keep them hopeful. Got to keep them mad. Because if they get hopeful and they believe they can do this without us, they can believe they can go build a black grocery store, then they won't need us. But I want you guys' opinion on this. And Donovan?
Yeah, no, again, this is kind of alarming because if the Democrats want to win in the future, they need to give black people what they've been asking for. We haven't been asking for a boycott. We've been asking for reparations. I was on my channel earlier today explaining the different Homestead Acts and what that entailed and what it was set up for. Since they screwed us in the Homestead Act, they need to just give us our money and cut the check. Straight up, cut the check. That's the only thing that's going to save us at this point, right? But I have a question, and I agree with you. DEI helps white women and stuff like that. But I just have a question for Demetra or maybe the ladies in the chat. Maybe the reason, I'm kind of wondering maybe why they elevate DEI for white women, like it's like a performative type thing, because politically they elevate black women that do nothing for black people, of course, but the substance of benefiting from policy, white women benefit from that. So, Demetra, keep that in mind. So my question is, do you think that's by design and by real? Because like I said, there hasn't been a white Hillary Clinton. She didn't make it, but you got Kamala Harris. They threaten. Karen Bass, all these black women that are in prominence, and you don't really see the white women being elevated, but substantially white women are benefiting from these programs where black women and black people in general are not benefiting from these programs. These corporations, and I've told you guys several times, if you've watched my podcast or watched my show on Facebook, I've told you many times that you have Republicans and you have Democrats. There is no difference in these parties because they are both corporate owned. What did I say? Keyword, corporate owned. If they're both corporate owned, who actually wins in all of this BS that's going back and forth, back and forth? I can't do this. I can't do that. I need more votes. I got to do this. Oh, the Republicans. Oh, it's the Democrats. Oh, it's Trump. Oh, it's this. The corporations own both of these parties. So, yes, them losing millions and millions of dollars is going to hurt them in their bottom line. But that still does not exempt the fact that you owe us trillions and trillions of dollars in reparations, and that's what we want. We could boycott these corporations out of existence. We have learned right now, it is us that has been keeping this country together all of these years. This is why the Hispanics are mad, because we're not helping them. The Asians, of course, they always remain silent. But all of these groups depend on us to stand up for them because we're the glue that keeps all this stuff together. And now that we're standing to the sides, people are panicking. So my personal opinion about it is it's a grift. That's all it can be. They have to get that money back into these corporations and get us back on the plantation in regards to bringing the money to certain companies. Now remember, Demetra, and you know this, capitalism in its brutalest form, in its purest form, is very brutal. It's money over everything. The strong survive, the weak is gone. So if you give your money to, let's say, Target over Walmart, that's going to give Target a significant edge because we're the ones that make it hot. We're the ones that keep these corporations going. See, so we decide who stays and who goes, and they know this. But I don't think a boycott would do anything other than basically monopolize the retail industry and the industries that they want monopolized. That's what I think. What do you guys think?
Okay, I'm sorry. So what is the question?
My question was, we see Black women being elevated to these positions of president and Senate and all this other stuff, like politically, but the white women benefit substantially from the programs. Do you think that's done by design and intentional? Because the white women get pissed when they see the Black woman's going to be a president, but at the same time, they're benefiting from all this. We can have a black president, but our people don't benefit from having a black woman president, even a black man president.
So you're basically saying, is it by design that the black woman is elevated, but the white woman benefits?
Yes, I mean the way they're doing it, like, hey, we're going to put this black woman up here as a diversionary tactic. Yeah, black woman's up there, but who's reaping all the benefits behind the scenes? The white women.
Yeah, and it's not really that many black women up there. It's more white women, even still, that's up there, in Washington or wherever they are. I don't know. It's more white women. It's always going to be more white women. Yeah, and you guys, God forbid I go out, I'll have to come back here on my phone. So I just want to let you know it just started raining and thunder and lightning. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure it could be by design, but yeah, even black women don't benefit the most, right? There could be some sort of a figurehead filling a quota or something like that. But yeah, it's always going to be white women. Brother Reggie, how you doing? Said I'm sure these corporations have factored in potential boycotts, minimal bosses and minimal bosses. I mean losses. I think before ending DEI, target stock is up 2.3% today. Yeah, I'm sure they have factored that in. They thought about that. I also heard that the daughter of the owner, the founder of Target, is like, she's upset that they have rolled back the DEI programs. Now, clearly, she's probably not in a decision-making capacity anymore. But the word on the street is that she's not happy that they did that. Obviously, it's going to cost them some money. But yeah, I see a lot of y'all saying y'all not gonna y'all not boycott anything. And hold on, somebody asked me a question on here. Where did it go? Is it still on here? Because I just thought it was kind of odd. Okay, maybe I passed it. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Maybe I'll find it. It's raining hard out there too. Maybe I won't find it, but they asked.
Don't worry, I'll home the show for you.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'll be back on my phone. Hey, average logical thinking, how you doing? No, I got you, Reggie. And Wabi, you say I believe it. And how you doing, by the way? Pro Styles, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Queen of Diet, what is going on with you? Negro says a different model for the elderly 65 and up. They will should receive more of their share. Got to figure out how to give or to our incarcerated. Okay. Somebody on here, but I won't even address it because I don't see them on here anymore. I'm sure it was being silly. So I just reminded myself, you don't have to address everything. And Brother Perry, how you doing? He says, I'm not boycotting, especially for a DEI program that has never benefited Black people. Yeah, but again, that's why we have to ask ourselves, what's really in it for these misleadership in the Black community to all of a sudden glom on to this boycott. We got the boycott Target and it. People have been asking to boycott, and put the money back into the Black community for years now. All of a sudden, because they know they're done, they being the Democrats, they're trying to give Black people something to believe in, right? Oh, we can do it. But at the end of the day, like you said, Brother Reggie, Target is going to be all right. Walmart's going to be all right. Because the other thing is, I got a video coming out of African Diaspora News Channel. Has anybody ever thought about when you boycott Walmart and Target, and a lot of those stores are in, let's say, Black communities, you boycott them, let's say they close. They have a food desert. Because in a lot of those places, even with that, you're telling Black people to stay away from there. Where are they supposed to shop? The liquor store, the gas station, where are they going to go? There's no Black grocery stores. And in a lot of the food deserts, there's not a grocery store that's close. They have to, travel some distance or, catch a bus or whatever it is. So people aren't thinking these things through, which is why I say it's a grift. This is that carrot, the dangle in front of people. Hey, this is why I'm going to keep you mad, right? Oh, I hate thunder and lightning. Ooh, it's scary. Anyway, let me get back into the comments. Y'all hear that thunder? Gloria, how you doing? Says, these people have been crying and lying. They need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. JJ says, yep, nothing but figureheads, token pieces for show. Absolutely. The average logical thinker says, went to Target today to order some glasses. Saw plenty of Negroes there. I bet you did. They up in there, not even incognito at all. They just, loud and proud and, walking around like as though nothing is going on. Enlighten, how you doing? It says there was a Facebook post. And Sunlight, I saw your comment. I'll look and see if you tagged me in as far as that post on Facebook. And like it says, there was a Facebook post on my page regarding the boycott from someone I know. I told him I'm not doing it because white women are the greatest benefactors and not black folks support black businesses. Yeah, but they don't want you to know that. They'll never say that. I haven't heard any of them say, oh, you know, it's not us that benefits the most, but it's that we got to keep them hooked. We can't have them thinking. Y'all got to remember, a thinking people is a dangerous people to the establishment, to the status quo. If black people start to think, and right now, in 4 years, it's going to give you a long time to think, right? Because the Democrats, they're not, at least for 2 years, they will say that, they're not running anything. So the last thing they need you to do is to sit down somewhere and say, have black people benefited from the Democrats? Have black people benefited from DEI? Oh, no, we haven't. Then why am I mad? They don't want you to do that. So they got to continuously keep you, enraged. Keep something, okay? It's Target today. It's, what do you call it? Reparations tomorrow. We just got to continuously keep things in front of them so they'll stay mad and they don't have time to just stop, think, mentally digest what's going on. Should I be mad? If so, why or why not? They don't want you to do that. Because if you do that, then what do? How do they eat? Because they eat off of your oppression. Now, not necessarily in the sense of white supremacy, but in a mental oppression, right? The hopelessness. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do. They eat off of that. Remember that. Wabi says, is Tamika Mallory book at Target and Walmart and Amazon? It's a good question. It's a good question. Kelly, how you doing? Says, where did it go? I hate when my comments jump up. You guys are typing fast. That's what's going on. He says, I still get over. I think it means still can't get over. Al Sharpton saying Costco needs more money than homeless black people. Yeah, the Altadena story, right? Richard Phillips, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says, in this day and age, not going to work. Remember, a lot of us have stock in 401k, FAFO, NAACP has been sleeping for decades. And yeah, from what I understand, black people couldn't even be at the helm of the NAACP. I think it's to like the 1930s. Before then, it was white people because in part it was founded by white people. So if you know, did Christ really come? How you doing? Peace and blessings to you as well. Maccabi, how you doing? Says, in order to destroy a people, you have to convince the majority to devalue the protector. So elevating black women to the glass ceiling isn't far-fetched. Yeah. I hear what y'all saying, but it's not a net benefit to black women. It's a few black women. It's not black women. It's some black women, but it's not enough to say, oh, black women, we've made it. It's a for you. And they don't even keep the damn job long, okay?
That's a good woman in there.
Yeah, okay. Gloria says, I'm going to Costco to buy my groceries and other stores when I find reasonable prices for edible items. Yeah, like I said, I'll be down for a boycott if it's going to be beneficial to us. But if it's going to help benefit white women to get more of what she already has, why would I do that? Count me in when it's going to be a bit like when we talk about building some grocery stores and things that are actually going to benefit us. Because like I said, I don't have a problem boycotting. I'm not very consumeristic anyway, so it don't bother me. But I'm not going to do it just because it's a sham from the Democrats and their shields. It's what it is. It's a Democratic shield sham. Y'all could say that 5 times. That's to keep you enraged. That's what that's about.
Right. And you got to think about this, though, too. Let's think about this using our basic logic. The people that are coming up with these ideas, this is something you would use in the late 60s, early 70s, and it worked. We're in a gig economy. So the opposition to Donald Trump and the Democratic Party, it's a joke. It's a joke. Even if I was still a Democrat, you guys, I'll be honest with you guys. Even if I was still a Democrat, I would be gone right now knowing that these old fossils, and I mean that respectfully, these old fossils are still leading the party. Look at their thought process. We're going to protest. Nobody protests anymore like that. It doesn't mean anything. As long as you're in the streets and you're going to protest, we hear you. You've been heard. This is how they gaslight you. It means nothing. It does not work. That was a thing that worked in an era long gone and by. It's finished. I would be embarrassed to be a Democrat right now. And then I also noticed, Demetra, that you also said that in this boycott, the Hispanics are also going to help and do this. Isn't it amazing how they are now outwardly? I'm not saying Hispanics have never helped, because there's always been a few of them in there and stuff like that, whatever. But we're talking about as a group being acknowledged as a whole, coming to protest with Black people. Why would they do that at this specific time, Demetra? You know, what do you think would be their motive to join with us at this specific time?
I think they have their own reasonings. I think they have a dog in the fight. Of course, we know that the Latinos are upset that Trump is deporting, I guess a lot of them. So they're mad about it. And of course, you know, they benefit from DEI as well. Not as much as white women, but they do. So I would imagine they have their own reasons. Probably has very little to do with us, actually. If they're probably just maybe inspired to do it because of us. But I'll tell you what, with them doing it and us doing it, yeah, it's really gonna raise a lot of eyebrows. And they're saying they're gonna go even longer than that. And I've also heard some that's leading this Black boycott. They're gonna go longer as well. So it's gonna be interesting. But like I said, I'm not willing to do it if it's not gonna benefit us directly.
Yeah, so I really think the Hispanics who've never joined with us for anything, according to LULAC and and that's their unofficial policy.
I don't think they're joining with us, though. I think it's just something that we're doing too. Yeah.
But anything that we've partaken that was supposed to be to benefit us or to fight for us, they've never outright come out and joined with us. They've never done that. As a matter of fact, if you go to the Latin countries, they are more racist in those countries than, well, no, nobody's more racist than the white man, but they have their caste systems in those countries, the Latin countries, just as really bad there, right? I think the reason that they're doing this is they're trying to show, well, look, we helped you guys over here, so you got to help us with the immigrations. We need you guys to get off the sidelines and get out and come back from vacation and help us. We're in this together. And if we're dumb enough to fall for that, because the minute, let's just say we do join them and help them in the immigration fight, they will turn right back around and go back to what they were doing to us before all of this immigration stuff started, ignoring us and stabbing us in the back. That's what I believe.
And Panther, yeah, you said 1.8 trillion compared to other ethnic groups that arrived a couple decades ago, having amassed generational wealth. So, you know, nearly $2 trillion for Black Americans it is a lot of money, and it puts us, you know, pretty high up there as far as if we were a country, as far as having the problem with us. Yeah, the other groups come over here and they get a lot of stuff like they did in this last 4 years. But see, the thing that they have us beat at is they know how to practice group economics. They come over here, they'll work those, you know, whatever job, $7.25 an hour. And they'll work a lot of them. They'll live all in the same house, a 2-bedroom, a lot of them, whatever. And then they wash, rinse, repeat. They buy one and do it again, buy one, do it again, buy one, do it again. Okay, now we need a grocery store because now we own the block. Now we need a laundromat. Now we need a school. We need this, that, the other, right? So that's what they do. We need to get good at that because we know that almost $2 trillion is a lot of money, but we give 97% of that away, keeping only 3%. We're the only community that does that. So yes, they are able to amass generational wealth because yes, groups like the Democrats help them do that, and they know how to keep their money within their own community. We got to get good at that. So, but you're right. Brother Reddy says, yes, Al Sharpton will show up with a few colors, you crazy, to boycott, but they'll be back shopping in a couple of weeks. Every corporate boardroom discussing DEI. Yeah, because they know us, right? Corporations, they do, they study behaviors of their consumers, right? And sometimes they, like you said, they break us down into groups. What are their behaviors? What are their shopping habits like? Yeah, they're mad now, but they'll be back. Where are they going to go, right? So they do study us, and they know this too shall pass.
Well, here's my thing, though, Demetra. If they study us, it's obviously they also hear us as well because they're taking our talking points. So if you know what it is we want and what we are asking for, not asking, I'm sorry, what we're demanding, why aren't our servants, our public servants, delivering these things for us?
Because, it's like this. You have a child and you say, hey, if you keep disobeying me, I'm going to whoop you. They disobey you again. If you do it again, I'm going to whoop you. They disobey you again. You know what? I said I was going to whoop you if you do it again. They do it again. I'm going to whoop you next time. But next time never comes. So that child is like, they going to say they going to whoop me, but they not. Same thing is true for us and the Democrats. We get mad or then when it's election time, the majority of Black voters line up and vote for the Democrats. And there's no doubt in my mind in 2028, that'll be the case. Now, maybe not as much as now, but the majority of Black voters will still do it. And so they don't listen. They hear us, but they don't listen because they like their bark is worse than their bite. They ain't got no teeth in their mouth. They're just gums, just bumping them, right? But now with Kamala not being elected, they're like, okay, maybe they are going to whoop us after all. You know what I mean? That butt whooping came due. And now they're believers. See, before we were Peter and the wolf. Y'all know the story of Peter and the wolf. There's a wolf. There's a wolf. Ha ha, I'm just kidding. There's a wolf. And then the wolf ate his butt up. And people's like, hey, just playing. And we don't even know where Peter is anymore, Short says, NAACP, you're not the voice of the grassroots. You're funded by other organization. Is a stumbling block. Yeah, they've always been that since their inception. A stumbling block set up by people that may or may not have Black people's best interests at heart. Because if it's for the advancement, y'all know the definition of advancement. If it's for the advancement of colored people, why haven't we advanced? They've been in business since 1920 something, give or take. Why haven't we advanced? Over 100 years, and we're still pretty much in the same place we were when the NAACP got hot and popping. So is it something that's really for us? I mean, it doesn't take you a rocket scientist to do deductive reasoning on that. I don't know. Yara, how you doing? Says this should be the next institution to be audited and destroyed. Oh, I'm sure it's next because Elon and them, they said there was millions of people that's getting Social Security and they dead. Millions of people getting Social Security that's dead. It's wild. Sherry, how you doing? Y'all, I know y'all heard that. I know y'all hear that thunder. And I ain't talking about my sister or thunder in the chat. Sherry says if they came out to protest with us, it would turn into a protest for them illegal. It says Mexicans, where whoever can keep their A's at home if we did go out and protest. Yeah, I don't think they're doing it for us. I think they're doing it for themselves. Soulfully sowing seeds. How you doing? This is American noun. A Native American originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Okay. Sister Shirley says if protesting was going to work, then maybe they will not get deported. Right. And they said here in the Harris County alone, they're looking to deport almost 2 million of them, like starting now. I hope they don't try to gaffle me up because for whatever reason, people don't think I belong where I belong, right? Remember when I was in the DR, they tried to gaffle me up. I'm like, wait a minute. Right. I don't even live out here. I'm vacationing. Brother Reddy says, is T.I. boycotting Gucci again? Right. Brother Samuel, how you doing? He says, it was the children of Israel that kept Pharaoh rich. When God affected his wealth, they began to go free. There you go. Rex says the Latino community is trying to suck up to our program and hope to lead us over to their program too. Yeah, and they won't ever have us. They won't. And I don't really believe that's their objective. I think they're like, okay, well, boycotting has worked for them. We'll do it too. Ali says, stop listening to these celebrities. Totally agree. Gloria says, I will always vote independent. That's the move. JJ says in these heavily black cities with all these black mega churches, there's no reason there should be no black owned grocery stores. Come on now. And then you know who else is doing it? Pastors are starting to glom onto it. Pastor Jamal Bryant, he's the one that's talking about, he's the one that actually came up with boycotting. I forget what it is, but they're boycotting Target. And he's, got that message going on in the church.
40 days of fasting.
I wonder what happened if he fasted for 40 days from cheating. You know what I mean?
Or paying his child support on time.
All that. Hey, Angie, how you doing? I saw you on here before. I'm gonna say hello again. And Cooking with Miss D, how you doing? It says, I'm not going to do a damn thing to help anyone, and that includes both political parties. Yeah, let them do what they do on their own. That's right, Brother Reggie, UNITY. Wabi says, you destroyed your enemy by making them your friend. Yep, there you go. Panther Strike says, Ayanna Presley is buck dancing, pushing the HR 40 symbolism BS. Sister Demetra, these mammies need further calling out. I totally agree with you. She thinks she's slick, but she's not. I have Sheila Jackson Lee's daughter up there, trying to tug on the heartstrings of people. It's like, nobody's buying this. And I'm glad, like I see the sentiment online, comment sections, people are like, bother us not with this.
On my pages, I've been getting a lot of sour grapes from people who, they lost the election, whatever. And they're saying, oh, you guys won the election, so you need to stop with the messaging. Demetra, stop with the messaging. The election is over. But is the election over? Do we just stop what we're doing, or do we continue to put this message out and wake people up? I mean, I'm getting a lot of these people talk about, well, y'all won, y'all rubbing it in everybody's faces, and you're making us feel bad, whatever. We don't want you to go to sleep. That's the reason. Because in politics, you see, this is the problem. And Norris knows what I'm talking about. And Phillips, Richard, and Terry, I'm very sure both of you guys know what I'm talking about. Mike Nice, you guys, you guys that are seasoned like me. The biggest problem in the civil rights movement in the 1960s is when they started killing off the leaders, they stopped the movement. Nobody stepped up, and it stopped. That was the biggest problem. So we can't repeat those missteps. We have to keep going, because in politics, we just had a presidential election. Great. Congressional elections are coming up. In a lot of your cities and stuff, you have local elections. It never stops. So we have to start teaching that to the next generation. Politics never stops. We should always talk about politics. Because we weren't talking about politics, you got all this corruption going around this country now. So again, when people start talking that, you guys won and you just rubbing it in our faces, whatever. No, you hear what we're saying. It's obvious you're hearing what we're saying. Why aren't you delivering that? HR 40, we don't need a study. What do we need a study for? And then wait. Think about this, guys. She's going to bring HR 40 to the floor of the House under a Republican-controlled House. If you know anything about politics, if you are not in power or the Speaker of the House, that is the only person that can bring bills to the floor. How is the Democratic Party that's in the minority going to bring a HR 40 bill to the floor? You didn't bring it there when Biden was in control and Nancy Pelosi was in control, but now you're going to do it under a Trump administration? Political theater.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But again, they're hoping that Black people are asleep enough to believe it, right? They come with this hope and changey. We're now going to pursue the study of reparations. And it's like, y'all say they be listening. They do a little bit, but they're not listening enough, because they've heard us say repeatedly, we do not want a study. Y'all know what slavery was about. You don't need to waste time. California's done it, and they lied about it. And a whole host of other people have studied it. What else do you need to know? But again, that's that we're going to keep playing in the faces of Black people. What? How long is that study going to take? Until you get ready to finish it. Like, what do you need to know that you don't already know? Go find out, because you know who it is, right? Find out who is a descendant of slavery and cut the check. It's that simple. Migrants didn't have to come over here and go through a whole bunch of hoops of fire. They came over here and they said, Kamala and Biden told me to come over here. They gave me this phone. They said log on this app and you can go here and get some housing, some money, some food stamps, some medical care and all that. And they'll take them through all of that. Ukrainians didn't have to do all of that. The Afghans, when they got flued out all over here during the Biden administration, they didn't have to go through all that. But I went in to study, and you know, it goes all the way back. Keep your study. I tell you what you do with your study, but I'm a lady and I don't talk like that in public. Okay. So if they're really listening to us, then they would know we don't want a study. And if you keep on playing, 2028 ain't going to look that much better for none of y'all. And like you said, Donovan, common sense. And they always saying, well, you know, y'all need to study civics. Y'all don't know nothing about no civics. Well, if you know about civics, you know you ain't got no power. You sitting up there just talking. Is there some papers you can be pushing, Ayana? You sit up and talking, well, there's 70 of us that's on board with this. Are there any Republicans? And are all the Democrats on? You know, so they're going to skirt around the issue, making you think, oh, it's the hope and change you can believe in. I promise you. Netta, how you doing? Says no one is coming for us. We are alone, but we run for everyone else, but not each other. And that's got to stop. And Richard, you said since Vietnam, the Black community never recuperated between the welfare, drugs, and immigration. Where was NAACP? They were there watching it all unfold, and in some respects, orchestrating it all. The outsider sports, how you doing? He says, then what? And I'm sorry, I'm so behind. I'm going to catch up, though, because y'all know how I get down. Mr. South Carolina, how you doing? Says, will Trump tariffs affect every boycott? It could, you know, him putting tariffs on other countries, that really is going to be passed down to us. But I heard it best this way, and I think it's a great point. He said, and in fact, my feelings, you could tell me if I'm wrong, because I know you know a lot about China. It said, as far as Trump and Elon not funding different countries with the USAID, China's got money. They could say, oh, United States, they've taken your funding for condoms or drug treatment. Oh, we got it. We've got a nice big bank account. Don't worry. Now they become even more of a superpower, and they get a stronghold because the United States have pulled out. And now China, you know, could pretty much continue to wiggle their way in wherever they need to be, because the United States, under the leadership of Trump, is like, well, we're not going to give you any money. China's like, I'll be your huckleberry. Hey,
and real quick, it's alleged that a lot of the super donors of the Democratic Party, they are pulling back a lot of their donations to the Democratic Party because they have to get lawyers. They're worried about saving their neck than the agenda. Their freedom is more important than the agenda that they've been funding all of these years.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until they found out that there was millions of people getting dead people getting Social Security. It's like, where's that money going? You know, what have y'all been doing with all this money?
Yeah, I think this morning I woke up and they said that he found $4 trillion that is missing in the Social Security. That was these dead people, whatever. And by the way, you guys, before 9/11 happened, go to YouTube. You will see Donald Rumsfeld talking to the press the day before 9/11, talking about the Defense Department cannot find $3 trillion. Where is all this money going?
Pop, now you know damn well they did. You know they did. You crazy. Star Child, how you doing? So did you guys hear about the Israel? Yes, I did. That's the wildest thing. The Israeli men. Why is Frontier calling me? Donovan, get this for a second.
So yeah, so all of this money. Do you guys even know what $1 trillion looks like? For them to say $4 trillion has been uncovered in the Social Security, all these people that have been dead and they've been pushing out that money. Ask yourself this: why is it that the Democratic Party is so against auditing of these government agencies? Why are they against that? It's our tax dollars. We want to know where our money is going and what has been spent, and if it's being spent correctly and into things that that we need. Because let's face it, here in the United States, we had natural disasters. because FEMA gave all the money to the migrants, we didn't have money to help our fellow American citizens. So I'm always wondering, the Democrats are rabid badgers when it comes to fighting against these audits. And let me put this out there, because somebody asked me this. Well, they've got our information and all this other stuff. So what? So what? They've got your personal information. So what? That's not a crime. You guys know that, right? It is not a crime to have somebody's personal information. It's a crime if you do something with that personal information. So let's see let's see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was my credit card company. It's like, did you make this transaction? Yes and no. I'm just kidding. Dorothy, how you doing? Did I say hello to you? Not hello. It says on X, and I'm going to get back to the other question that I had. It says on X, Elon Musk said, bruh, if I wanted to rummage through random personal ish, I could have done that with PayPal. Yeah, I saw that he said that. I mean, he's the wealthiest man in the world. What could he possibly want with your money? You know? Let's see here. Where did it go? Oh, Star Child says, did you guys hear about the Israeli men here on vacation? That I don't know what that means. He says, but because he thought they were okay. So basically, what had happened was, so there was an Israeli man. They were in Florida. He saw two men that he thought were Palestinian. So he pewed them. They're alive. And it turns out they was Israeli too. Now get this. When they went on the men that were pewed, I don't know, Twitter, they was talking about death to Muslims or something like that. So it's like a circle of hate. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, you know, and I won't go too much further than that, but I read it and I was just like, well, damn. That's crazy. All right, so let me move right along. Monty, how you doing? He says, every time Democrats take office, many of our people who love them more than God always fall back asleep. Yep. Maya says, problem with DEI. How you doing? Problem with DEI is blacks did not profit from these programs. Mostly white women tell the NAACP to get white women to boycott because they are primary beneficiaries. Yep. Brother Don, Triple OG moderator, how you doing? And much love to all the moderators. Ali says, FBA lineage based. No leader, affection to earth. How you doing? Says Black First, great content. Keep up the great work. And thank you. Love and appreciate you for that. Matthew says Democrats and NAACP, CBC don't need sleep because FBA Freedmen hasn't had any because of hunger. Yes, Angie, CBC is a joke. Roots Tracker, how you doing? And where have you been? He says those illegals did not need a study. Nah, they didn't, you know. Negro says NAACP started in 1909. There you go. South Africans started using colored in the 1950s. Yeah, and it means something, from what I understand, different than what we're doing. Queen of Di says she know it won't pass. She wants to say she tried. Yep, and we're on her, right? Barat, how you doing? Says Dimitri the Storm, where you are is part of DEI. I hope not. Yeah, I hope it's not part of DEI. I don't benefit from it anyway, so it don't matter to me. Lance, she says every other industrialized nation supports illegals. Yeah, and they mad that is going on here. Brother Reggie says, "Oh, command me finally stop asking for a donation for her website. Now she wants you to connect with her and do what? Get some greens from the bathtub? Nah. Easy, where have you been? You're gonna get a whooping." Anyway, he says all they have to do is to go to congressional archives. Yeah, to find out who is who, right? Come on now. If I lied on my taxes, they know damn well who I was. If I didn't file my taxes, they would know. They would know where to find me at every moment of the day. She's at the gym, Planet Fitness, right? Hey, go get her, you know, and I wouldn't ever even told nobody I was there. Terry says this was meant to fail. Look who is in office. It's BS. Cut the check. Come on now. Yeah, and they know. I don't know. Trump he might not, but they know he won't. And Salam, how you doing? It says homeless studies again and again. Here, Los Angeles County, all of the homeless are Black Americans, most of them, right? Absolutely. All right, skip down. Pamela, he says we are so far up the road. Democrats is a dusty part of the dust. Yeah. And why would any American vote for that party? Had literally undermined the Black community, and they're still trying to do it by thinking we're stupid. Rose Mitchell, how you doing? Says HR 40 CBC laughed and danced and told the people in their face, we ain't giving you no reparations. Remember, family law? We ain't gonna never forget, right? Charlene, how you doing? Says, please, not another study. Did they do studies for all these other peoples? Nope, they did not. They just got the money. And that's two part of their talking points when Ayana was speaking, and she says, oh, everybody else got it, and they didn't need a study. So it's like they've listening to us, but they not really, or reparations rather. Rosandi, how you doing? It says the more they study, the more they will lose. So keep it up, Democrats, because FBAs won't have any sympathy for your loss in 2028. Yeah, it's a wrap. No reparations, no vote. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brother Reggie says Ayana better get her girl AOC under control before she gets deported out here holding I know webinars for illegals on how they can avoid deportation. Yeah, they're trying to see if they can bring her up on charges for the nonsense. Hey, Bakari, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Pastor Strike says Malcolm made it clear that these so-called sympathizers cannot join us. That would be our downfall, allowing outsiders in our inner circle. Yep. Who else is on here? Daryl says the CIA have their own printing press. I have heard. Quite sure of it. Jerron, how you doing? Says cutting the programs haven't hurt us yet. No, and they never do. They never do hurt us. But they want us to believe. In fact, Phillips says, I don't think China is concerned about much giving condoms to Africa to limit their birth rates like U.S. does. China will give Africans a bridge, road, right, building, train, real stuff to help them to help them live. Yeah, because China also benefits from being in the motherland. But yeah, you're right. I agree. Clifford, how you doing? Says, what's the purpose of government accountability office? They basically want to trim the fat and see who's stealing and who these dead people are that's getting Social Security. And I want to know too. Cynthia Haynes, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tito, what's going on with you? You say a trillion. Carmen, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Bruce Tracker says greetings to both of you. Just got just busy getting ready to go to Ethiopia. Are y'all going? No, not going. I'll probably go on the next trip. But you're going to in March with the African Diaspora News Channel, huh? I hope you guys do have fun. I need to make one of those trips though. And Ali says the Democrats keep saying Elon was unelected. Was Kamala elected? Come on now. Come on.
And again, we don't know civics, but if the president empowers you to do a specific task, you are now working for the president under the executive branch, which makes you a federal employee. So that's his mantra to do that. And speaking of which, real quick, Demetra, Gavin Newsom, isn't it funny how they snuck that bill through? Gavin Newsom signed the bill that gives illegal migrants healthcare, $9-point-something billion, and we've been in the red for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and and the so-called leadership, the misleadership there, the California Black Assembly didn't even take the reparation bill to the floor at all. Jamila, how you doing? He says, hey, Dimitri and Donovan, did you hear the rumor about Trump not wanting Black people to enlist in the military? So it's a rumor, but it's not a rumor. What happened is that there's a special program called BEA, Black Engineer Year, something of award of the year. I don't know. Black engineers, nevertheless. And so the military, Department of Defense, they go and recruit there. They go to the award ceremony and they go recruit the brightest Black engineers they used to, but they now cannot do that. They cannot do that. And if they go to the ceremonies, they cannot wear their uniforms or anything like that. Now, all the other branches, except for the Marines, up until the time that I saw, have abstained. So the Marines, not yet, but I'm sure that they will since they're part of the government. So they just can't recruit. But it's not that they can't enlist. They don't want Black people to enlist. They're calling that DEI. If we go to this ceremony and recruit Black people because they're Black, not because they're smart, because they are, right? But because they're Black, then it's considered DEI. But as I said, great. Then don't go to the military. They don't, want your Black ass there. Let all the white men and white women fight. It's their country anyway. They're going to benefit from it more than anybody. So let them fight. What are we mad for?
Yeah, engineering is a very critical skill that the military actually wants people to come in to invent these things that happen and destroy and build and all this other stuff. So that's a highly sought after career field. If I didn't have my degree in aeronautics, I would have been an engineer and done that instead, because they give you the bonuses and all that other stuff that goes with it. However, at the same time, though, they specifically did that, because again, a lot of us go to these HBCUs and we don't think about going into the military, because if you're an engineer, you've got major corporations throwing you major dollars. So you're not even going to look at the military. So, when I was in, and that program was going on, that is why they went for these guys, because they weren't even thinking about coming into the military. It's just something to give them a incentive to do, like, hey, could you consider the military? And I still think the numbers are very low. So.
Absolutely. I got to the bottom. I can't believe it. Raven says nobody saw the theft in motion until Trump created the DOGE, Department of Governmental Efficiency unit for Musk. Musk talking, it says talking billions and trillions of waste found. Trump and Musk have nobody watching them, and Trump has nothing but yes people, them two pocketing money and no accountability to racist thieves at work. Well,
let me speak on that. Well, Raven, actually, people did know about the money being stolen. Like I said, the one thing about Donald Rumsfeld and all this other stuff, it's just that the American people aren't paying attention. The OMB, they would send out notice. That's what I'm saying. If you're not into this stuff, you're not going to pay attention to it, because these things do go out when the Defense Department goes over budget. So if you're with Lockheed or Boeing and they did a contract for, let's say, $100 million, next thing you know, they're asking for more money because they've gone over, projection, and we're just giving them that money, which is a form of theft. But people aren't paying attention to that. Most military contracts are guaranteed to go over budget, and we pay for it. We don't penalize the manufacturer, because if the guy goes over budget, what does that have to do with us? We paid what the contract said. Anything over budget, that contractor should have to pay that expense. But no, we give them more money. That's why I tell people in my stocks, I am heavy into the defense industry, because even when those guys screw up, they give them more money. That's exactly what's going on.
Facts on Finland says this may be a blessing in disguise. Blacks in 1920s who were skilled, started clinics, building cars, started companies. They did not go into the military. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like a win-win to me, And our Negroes said, so the ASAP verdict is happening now. My guess is he's going to be found not guilty. Not guilty. I don't think he'll be found guilty. If he is, I'd be surprised. And I've been wrong before, but I don't think he'll be found guilty. I think he'll get off. For those of y'all who care, it's Rihanna's baby daddy. So yeah, I don't see any more comments. But at the end of the day, NAACP is raining hard out there. It's like bad. NAACP, they're just trying to shuck and jive and keep Black people mad. Democrats trying to keep Black people mad. The misleadership, your Al Sharptons, your Tamika Mallory's. Tamika Mallory seemed like she used to be pretty straight-laced, but I don't know, she bought in or whatever it was. But they're just, they're benefiting on keeping Black people upset. They should be teaching Black people, tell Black people to think. Let's focus our efforts somewhere else. Maybe start our own political party without them, right? But a political party, build businesses. Like I said, we need engineers in the community. Engineers build things, right? Maybe those engineers could just focus on building grocery stores and things like that. But they won't do that because they eat greedy by keeping Black people poor. And keep us poor in every way, shape, and form. And that's how they're able to say that they're leaders. Who is the white leader? Who is the Asian leader? Who is the Latino leader? Or are their leaders? Why do we get to have Black leaders? And then with that question, and we know this is not an original thought of mine, but we know those Black leaders are assigned by, the powers that be. They assign those Black leaders. And a lot of times those Black leaders are taught to keep us on the precipice of hope, but never any more than that. Don't make them believe that things can change. Don't rile them up. Don't let them think. Because when they think, it's going to cost all of us something, right? So that's what we're here for. And another thing, too, I'm going to get out of here before, this weather does what it's going to do. I saw Roland Martin did a show about, black male unemployment has gone up under Trump. I said, he ain't nothing but a bald-faced liar. I said, bald-face. He ain't nothing but a bald-faced liar. Trump ain't been in office a whole month, but he was sitting up there telling people it's basically due to Trump that unemployment has gone up. Just rage baiting, just keeping people pissed off for what? And another thing is, if you're a Roland Martin audience member, you should be upset that he's lying to y'all because he thinks you're stupid. Now, I would say there's a lot of people in the comment sections like, wait a minute, he hasn't been president that long. But there's a lot of people like, oh my God, how that? Because he knows that.
We told y'all, but we told y'all.
Well, yeah, he knows y'all gonna believe any and everything he says because he's rolling. He's the appeal to authority. So shame on him. And if y'all see him around in the grandma cookie aisle, tell him I said shame on him for lying to y'all. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah. Go ahead. I want you guys to realize, you guys do know for the last 4 years, we have been in an artificial economy that was pumped up by all the money that was given to Ukraine and the migrants and all this other stuff. So we basically, the economy is actually going to where it's supposed to be, where it's literally supposed to be at. That's when the money's not being pumped into the economy, it's shrinking because it was a false economy to begin with. But see, that's what I'm saying. If you're not paying attention to this stuff, it'll throw you for a loop. It will throw you for a loop. We've been in a recession. We still haven't recovered from the pandemic. We still have not recovered from the pandemic.
Yeah, Roland, he's completely out of pocket for lying to people. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because this weather's, it's bad. And I don't want it to kick me off of here for God, whatever reason. Anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I'll be in California next week. Well, actually this week I'll be in California. So I'm going to try to go live a few times just to say hello or whatever the case is, trying to get some things together. But in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day. And I will see you around. Savior's Day is this Sunday, NOI.org. You guys should catch it. The minister, from what I understand, will be speaking. Cynthia, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you dearly. Of course, there's ways to help the channel if you see fit. Have Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Super Chats, and all of that. Everything that you do is appreciated. But at the very least, if you could just if not already subscribe, I will promise you dance at your wedding. Peace.